My special guest today is the Managing Director, National Trucks Manufacturer Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please do join me in welcoming Mr. Ibrahim Bayero. Sir, you are most welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, and welcome to National Trucks Manufacturers Kano.
Thank you, sir. I know I'm not really doing justice to your pedigree. Can we meet you properly, sir?
Well, as I said, my name is Ibrahim Bayero. For many of your viewers, may be very surprised to learn I am Nigerian by birth and by blood, and in full spirit. I grew up in Lagos. My primary studies and secondary level studies were also in Lagos. My father is from Kano State, and I'm an indigene of Kano State. I have full pride in our great state and our great nation.
Tell us, National Trucks Manufacturer Limited, what is it all about?
Well, we are a vehicle assembly company, and I would like to give you a brief history. The genesis of National Trucks Manufacturers came about in 1975 during the administration of the late head of state, General Murtala Mohammed. It was a joint venture between the federal government and Fiat of Italy. The idea was to build and operate a vehicle assembly plant for the full assembly of heavy-duty trucks and agricultural tractors here in Kano. The joint venture agreement was signed in 1975. The actual operation of the plant did not begin till 1980. We had great success between 1980 and 1986 in the production and sale of both heavy-duty trucks and agricultural tractors. Unfortunately, due to some economic activities, namely the structural adjustment program and economic downturn in general in Nigeria, as well as foreign exchange fluctuation, the plant had to shut production in 1986. Between the period of 1980 and 1986, there was a sale of 10,000 plus units. That was a great achievement for any assembly plant in the world at that time, especially a newly developed one. Now, as I said, 1986 the plant operations came to a standstill, and 17 years later the federal government, under the administration of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, moved it in for privatization. The 75% shareholding by the federal government was sold to a single group of investors, Art Engineering and Construction. The agreement with the federal government at the time of privatization was to maintain the vehicle assembly facilities. The federal government would patronize the purchases of vehicles assembled here. Now, privatization took place in 2003. But actual assembly and production did not begin till 2004. The reason for that was because the plant was shut down for 17 years. There was a huge level of cleaning that needed to be done, and apart from that, modification of the infrastructure here on the ground, plant, machinery and equipment. Now, in 1980, when this facility was constructed and opened, the vehicles at that time are very much different from they are today. So this is where majority of our modification came in. So apart from the initial purchasing of the shares from the federal government, there was also a huge level of investment to bring this facility up to specs, international qualities of standard. And we started full operation in 2004, and majority of our vehicles are of the commercial variety. Our vehicles range from pickups, minibuses, agricultural tractors, some jeeps, light-duty trucks, medium-duty trucks and heavy-duty trucks. And we also are involved in modifying many of these products to meet specific customer requirements. Modifications in the sense of bodybuilding on the back of light-duty trucks or heavy-duty trucks, such as cargo bodies, tipper bodies, water tankers. So we are an assembly facility but we are also doing a level of manufacturing and fabrication here on the ground.
Can you let us know some of the achievements so far?
Well, I would say the major achievement is we have been in operation for 8 years. Compared to the other vehicle assembly plants in Nigeria, the existing vehicle assembly plants, who were also started at the same period as national trucks manufacturers, meaning 1975, we have maintained operations constantly for that period since privatization. I don't want to be insensitive and drop names. You know, I don't view them as competition, because we have a wide range of vehicles. But even a great company such as Peugeot in Kaduna, they have suffered a period of shutdown due to either legal problems or worker problems or financial issues, which we can empathize with.
Mr. Amidi, millions of Nigerians are watching you through this Media International program. I want to ask you, what are your challenges?
Our challenges are numerous, perhaps too numerous to go through in this program completely. But the major challenge, I would say, in no particular order: number one, patronage. The federal government is the largest buyer of any product in Nigeria, and we do not have enough patronage from them. I will not speak on behalf of national trucks manufacturers alone. I would also speak on behalf of all the other vehicle assembly companies. We are capable of supplying international quality products to suit practically all the needs of the federal government and the people of Nigeria.
Okay.
And there is not enough level of patronage. National trucks manufacturers has a capacity on a 8-hour shift per day of 7,000 to 8,000 units of agricultural tractors in an entire year. We do not have even 1% of that order for agricultural tractors, neither from the federal government, state governments, or from the public of Nigeria. Now, second challenge we're facing is the duty differential. There's an imbalance in the level of duties paid for fully built vehicles and what we call CKD in the vehicle assembly industry, completely knocked down components. Our process is we import components in their knockdown form and do the assembly of those components here on the ground. Apart from that, we also have the opportunity to add local content, and as I say, in order to meet specific customer requirements, we can construct certain bodies or requirements for those customers. So the duty differential, there's a huge imbalance between fully built up vehicles and completely knocked down components. The imbalance does not favor the assembly process. In some areas, the difference is only 5%.
I can buy maybe a truck from you or some vehicle from you, and at the end of the day, maybe the thing gets spoiled. Will I get parts for those things to be?
Apart from supplying vehicles, as I mentioned to you earlier, National Trucks Manufacturers is a member of the auto industry. We are not auto traders. We are not vehicle traders. We assemble and manufacture vehicles. Apart from that, apart from supplying those vehicles, we also ensure that we maintain a sufficient amount of spare parts on the ground so that we can maintain those vehicles properly. Now, the maintenance of those vehicles is also a third aspect of our operations, whereas the servicing, qualified engineers, technicians, mechanics, to be able to properly service and maintain those vehicles for the various customers. So we don't end our relationship with the customer by just providing them with the vehicles. We also ensure that their vehicles last them for the entire period that they require them for.
What exact support you need from the government?
Well, as I said, number one, with all the vehicle assembly companies, we've always been pushing for proper patronage of our products. And Mr. President, in April 2011, issued a directive to all federal government ministries, departments and agencies that the first preference for purchase of vehicles should be from the local vehicle assembly plants. We have been pursuing that directive since privatization, and we are extremely happy that Mr. President saw the viability, potential in the vehicle assembly industry to grant that to all vehicle assemblers in the country. But apart from issuing a directive, there needs to be proper implementation and regulation of that directive, which is perhaps where we are lacking. So we would urge for the directive to be reissued to all federal government MDAs, and for this to be followed to the letter.
Now, in next 3, 4, 5 years, where are you taking this company to?
By inshallah, we will have the ability to transform Nigeria into a vehicle exporting nation. There are very few countries in the world that can have that pin in their hat, and Nigeria is practically the only country in West Africa and the ECOWAS members that has vehicle assembly plants on the ground today.
I'm going to ask you, how can I assess the level of patronage so far?
Level of patronage, to be diplomatic, has been extremely low. Not only from the federal government level, but also state government levels and the public in general. It seems that there is a misconception, because it's made in Nigeria or assembled in Nigeria, it's of a lower quality. And I would refute that for practically any product. Today, Nigerian manufacturing companies are following international standards. Otherwise, some of our great industrialists, Mr. Dangote, would not be investing so much in the country. So Nigerian products are not of poor quality or of poor standard. We meet international standards and quality. That misconception should be removed from people's minds, but it's a very hard thing to do. All we can keep doing is educating the Nigerian public. So yes, we need the patronage, not only from the federal government level, but from the public in general.